discovered that a tiny little popcorn seed could turn into this. Now, Native Americans deserve the credit for discovering popcorn. Popcorn is a buttery, fluffy, satisfying treat that provides quick, healthy, and delicious snack to people all over the world. In my presentation, to tell you how important popcorn is, I will talk about the history of popcorn, how popcorn pops, and different types of popcorn. Experts believe that Native Americans were the ones who discovered popcorn, and they made popcorn by digging a hole in sand, and they would put like popcorn seeds in there, and then they would cover it back up with sand, and then they would build a fire right next to it, and then eventually the sand would heat up enough that the popcorn seeds would pop, and then they would dig it up and then eat it. So they probably like ate sand, but I don't really know. But they discovered popcorn in these caves called the Bat Caves, and they're located in New Mexico. And they think they figured out popcorn popped was because when they would harvest all their popcorn plants, they would preserve a few popcorn seeds so that they could plant them the next year. And so they think that when they preserved those seeds that it must have gotten too hot, and so it popped, and that's how they discovered it. And Native Americans brought popcorn to the first Thanksgiving, and that's when they think popcorn really got started. In 1885, the first popcorn machine was made, and it was made by Charles Craters, and he lived in Chicago, Illinois. And this was about the time when popcorn was becoming really popular, so he thought it would be good if he made a popcorn machine, and he put it in the middle of the city, so he made a lot of money off it because a lot of people were interested in his idea. Now that I've told you about the background, I'm going to tell you about how popcorn pops. Native Americans used to think that there was a spirit inside each kernel of popcorn, and they thought that when you heated it up, the spirit would get really, really mad until eventually he would pop out of the shell and he would come out into the air. But we obviously know that that's not the real reason why popcorn pops. There are 4 different types of corn. There's sweet corn, flint corn, dent corn, and popcorn. And popcorn is the only corn that actually pops if you heat it up. Like if you heat these up, then they're obviously not going to pop. Only this corn pops. But popcorn, each seed has a small drop of water in the inside, and then around the water is a soft starch material, and then around that is like the hard outer shell that you can feel. So when the seed is heated up, the water droplet expands and keeps getting bigger until it turns into steam, and then the pressure builds up and eventually it pops. And then the soft starch spills out and then immediately cools when it hits the air. So that's what the outside of popcorn is. It's the soft starch material. So now that I've told you how popcorn pops, I'm going to move on to different types of popcorn. This is butter popcorn, and it's the most famous type of popcorn. Many of you probably eat it in movie theaters or get it at concession stands at games, baseball games or something. Then the most famous sweet flavor is caramel corn, and that's really good too. Most people make popcorn in microwaves, and the microwave's number 1 use is for popcorn, and most microwaves actually have a popcorn button. Then you can also make popcorn on stoves or over a fire or in a popcorn machine. There are 2 different types of popcorns. This is the mushroom, and it's smaller and more compact, and usually it's made for sweet popcorn because it doesn't break as easily. And also, if you would buy popcorn at a store, usually this is the type that would be in there. And then this is the snowflake, and it's used at movie theaters because it's more appealing and it's bigger, and I think it tastes better or something, I don't know. So in conclusion, popcorn is really important, and I showed you that by talking about the history of popcorn, how popcorn pops, and different types of popcorn. So Native Americans discovered that popcorn is a buttery, fluffy, satisfying treat that provides a quick, healthy, and delicious snack to people all over the world.
All right.